And here we are waiting outside the tunnel to go in. So that right there is the tunnel bit. There's a lot of stoplight stuff. And here, let me, there we go. Can clean the windshield off really quick. So we're going to be going through that big mountain there. I don't know if you can actually see the tunnel entrance, but it's right over there. It's that little thing right there. It's the tunnel entrance. Anyway, all we got left to do now is wait for a wee bit. We've been sitting here waiting for the train for just a little while. And there it is! The train! That means we'll be going through really soon, hopefully. Not sure what exactly is going on with the train because it's currently moving at a rate of about 2 snail lengths per hour. But we've got what looks like a bunch of smoke coming up out of there actually. Like up out of the tunnel itself. So not sure what all that's about. But I figure we'll probably find out sooner or later. Well, it's about 5 minutes later and there's smoke coming out of the tunnel. And there's also still train coming out of the tunnel. Because it is moving just abysmally slow. But, you know, such is life. So, that is the end of the train. And, you know, about 20 minutes have elapsed. So, that's cool. So here we are, inside the tunnel to Whittier. It's a tunnel that was built during World War II, or actually, either during World War II or right after World War II. Okay, this is not a history lesson, so don't quote me on the exact history. But as you can see, it's a really long tunnel. It's actually the longest tunnel in North America, which is super cool. We have over here like little safe houses along the way. They were used to store various army supply and whatnot because we were trying to keep it like secret from foreign powers during times of war. It's also really interesting because it is a 1-lane tunnel. So I don't know if you can really get proper sense of it, but there's the wall over there. There's the wall over there. We are driving on the road, which is also the train tracks, because there's a train that comes through here. And I'm like trying to like give a proper description of the tunnel as we're moving through it, and trying to like continue this for the entire duration of the tunnel, just because, you know, it's a long tunnel. And so I figured, you know, it'd be kind of cool to talk for the entire time. And anyway, so now I have to figure out something to talk about because I think I've explained the tunnel, unless there's something I missed. Zach, is there something I missed?
There was other stuff you mentioned before. I forget what it was.
There was other stuff I mentioned before. Oh, so funny thing, it's kind of sort of raining inside the tunnel because there's some water dripping down through the rocks. And so like most of the tunnel it's like perfectly dry, but there's been a couple times where it like has dripped on us, so that's fun.
Jets.
What?
The jets.
The jets? Oh, the tunnel is the only tunnel of its kind that is ventilated with jet engines, because that's what they happen to have on hand at the time when they built the tunnel, and once they installed them, they're like, why bother trading it out for anything else, because it works just fine. So what they use to vent the tunnel is actually jet engines, which blows all of the exhaust and fumes out whenever stuff goes through, which is why there was so much smoke coming out when the train was going through earlier. We have some instructions to follow as we're going through the tunnel in case of emergency. If there is a flashing white strobe light, we are instructed to turn our car off, leave the key in the ignition, the doors unlocked, and evacuate all passengers to the nearest safe house. I'm not sure what the white strobe then entails, but it's kind of fun. The other thing we have to observe is never go above 25 miles per hour, and they radar enforce that, whatever that means. Also, if any of these little traffic lights turns red, then we have to stop and wait for them to turn green before proceeding. And the tunnel is illuminated all along the way with the illumination lights. That's why... Whoa! Let me just drop my phone. That's why we can see even inside the tunnel. We also have to leave our headlights on at all times while inside the tunnel. Unless I think if the car is turned off. But that only happens in case of emergency. Because barring cases of emergency, we are required to continue and not stop. And the speed that we are required to continue at is 25 miles an hour.
Which is 40 kilometers an hour.
Which is 40 kilometers an hour.
Approximately.
For those of you who are international. Also, we have to maintain a distance of at least 100 feet from the car in front of us. That's about
30 meters, I think?
30 meters for those of you who are international.
Something like that.
And yeah, anyway, it's really quite a fun thing. Not necessarily because there's anything really that exciting about the tunnel, but just because of how long it is. Because I've been talking this whole time, and we're still going in the tunnel. However, I can now see there is a light at the end of the tunnel, which you can barely see on the camera, but there is a light there, and it's getting closer and closer, and we still have a little ways to go. Oh, it's also interesting. The tunnel, like, it's mostly like natural, but they have these periodic concrete supports. The tunnel is supposed to be able to withstand like a nuclear blast.
Nuclear blast?
I believe nuclear.
Wow.
Because it's underneath a mountain, and mountains usually don't get leveled by a nuclear blast. Like, if they manage to somehow like get a nuclear bomb inside the tunnel entrance, like hit there directly, it'd probably wipe out the tunnel. But like if they were to just like bomb the area, even with like a nuclear blast, it should still hold. Also, there were a couple sections, I didn't manage to get them on camera, but there's a couple sections that have, oh wait, here's one. There's sections there where you can see there's like lots of little white things stuck into the wall. Those are tie rods. They drill into the side of the mountain quite far and then lock it off. And that is the end of the tunnel. We are now out in the open and can see the mountains all around us. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is Whittier. We got mountains, we got ugly hotel looking thing, we got the Donut Depot, and we have Marina. Thank you.
No,
it's over there.
Yeah.
Perfect. And Zach is looking for a gym for Pokemon Go, which I think is absolutely hilarious. There is one gym and one Pokestop in Whittier, so it's pretty fantastic. Anyway, we're just picking up the Poke gym, and then we will be headed back through the tunnel, because that's basically all there is to see in Whittier. Is there's some boats and a couple little buildings and some mountains. So good stuff. So we're just sitting and waiting once again to head back through the tunnel. It will be fun. And so that, my friends, is the Whittier Tunnel, famous for being the longest tunnel in North America. And not much else, because there's not really anything in Whittier. But anyway, I want to say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So, we're about 20 minutes from the tunnel, and this is the train that left the tunnel before we went through one direction. We then sat and waited for a half hour and came back through the tunnel. Well played, train. Well played. To be fair to the train, it is going at an appropriate speed now. It's just because of how slow it was going originally that I'm making fun of it. But it is actually going probably, I would say, 45 miles an hour now. we're just going a bit faster than that is all.